Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 2, Book 26, number 799. Narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet permitted them. Volume 2, Book 26, number 800. Narrated by Ibn Umar. That the Prophet allowed, as above. Volume 2, Book 26, number 801. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Al-Abbas asked the permission from the Prophet to stay at Mecca during the nights of Mina in order to provide water to the people, so the Prophet allowed him. Volume 2, Book 26, number 802. Narrated by Wabra. I asked Ibn Umar, when should I do the Rami of the Jama'ah? He replied, when your leader does that. I asked him again the same question. He replied, we used to wait till the sun declined and then we would do the Rami, i.e. on the 11th and 12th of Dhul Hijjah. Volume 2, Book 26, number 803. Narrated by Abdur Rahman bin Yazid. Abdullah did the Rami from the middle of the valley. So, I said, O Abu Abdur Rahman, some people do the Rami of the Jamra from above it, i.e. from the top of the valley. He said, by him except whom none has the right to be worshipped, this is the place from where the one on whom Surat al-Baqarah was revealed, i.e. Allah's Apostle, did the Rami. Volume 2, Book 26, number 804. Narrated by Abdur Rahman bin Yazid. When Abdullah reached the big Jamra, i.e. Jamrat al-Aqaba, he kept the Kaaba on the left side and Mina on his right side and threw 7 pebbles at the Jamra, and said, the one on whom Surat al-Baqarah was revealed, i.e. the Prophet, had done the Rami similarly. Volume 2, Book 26, number 805. Narrated by Abdur Rahman bin Yazid. I performed Hajj with Ibn Masud, and saw him doing Rami of the big Jamra, Jamrat al-Aqaba, with 7 small pebbles, keeping the Kaaba on his left side and Mina on his right. He then said, this is the place where the one on whom Surat al-Baqarah was revealed, i.e. Allah's Apostle, stood. Volume 2, Book 26, number 806. Narrated by Al-Amish. I heard Al-Hajjaj saying on the pulpit, the surah in which al-Baqarah, the cow, is mentioned and the surah in which the family of Imran is mentioned and the surah in which the women, and Nisa, is mentioned. I mentioned this to Ibrahim, and he said, Abdur Rahman bin Yazid told me. I was with Ibn Masud, when he did the Rami of the Jamrat al-Aqaba. He went down the middle of the valley, and when he came near the tree, which was near the Jamra, he stood opposite to it and threw 7 small pebbles and said, Allahu Akbar, on throwing every pebble. Then he said, by him, except whom none has the right to be worshipped, here, at this place, stood the one on whom Surat al-Baqarah was revealed, i.e. Allah's Apostle. Volume 2, Book 26, number 807. Narrated by Salim. Ibn Umar used to do Rami of the Jamratu Dunya, the Jamra near to the Kaif Mosque, with 7 small stones and used to recite takbir on throwing every pebble. He then would go ahead till he reached the level ground where he would stand facing the Qibla for a long time to invoke Allah, while raising his hands, while invoking. Then he would do Rami of the Jamrat al-Wusta, middle Jamra, and then he would go to the left towards the middle ground, where he would stand facing the Qibla. He would remain standing there for a long period to invoke Allah, while raising his hands, and would stand there for a long period. Then he would do Rami of the Jamrat al-Aqaba from the middle of the valley, but he would not stay by it, and then he would leave and say, I saw the Prophet doing like this. Volume 2, Book 26, number 808. Narrated by Salim bin Abdullah. Abdullah bin Umar used to do Rami of the Jamrat Dunya with 7 small pebbles and used to recite takbir on throwing each stone. He, then, would proceed further till he reached the level ground, where he would stay for a long time, facing the Qibla to invoke Allah, while raising his hands. Then he would do Rami of the Jamrat al-Wusta similarly and would go to the left towards the level ground, where he would stand for a long time facing the Qibla to invoke Allah, while raising his hands. Then he would do Rami of the Jamrat al-Aqaba from the middle of the valley, but he would not stay by it. Ibn Umar used to say, "I saw Allah's Apostle doing like that." Volume 2, Book 26, number 809. Narrated by Abdur Rahman bin al-Qasim. I heard my father, who was the best man of his age, saying, I heard Aisha saying, I perfumed Allah's Apostle with my own hands before finishing his ihram while yet he has not performed Tawaf al-Afada. She spread her hands, while saying so. Volume 2, Book 26, number 810. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The people were ordered to perform the Tawaf of the Kaaba, Tawaf al-Wada, as the lastly thing, before leaving Mecca, except the menstruating women who were excused. Volume 2, Book 26, number 811. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. The Prophet offered the Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib and the Isha prayers and slept for a while at a place called Al-Mahasib and then rode to the Kaaba and performed Tawaf round it. Volume 2, Book 26, number 812. Narrated by Aisha. Safiya bint Huay, the wife of the Prophet, got her menses, and Allah's Apostle was informed of that. He said, would she delay us? The people said, she has already performed Tawaf al-Afada. He said, therefore she will not delay us. Volume 2, Book 26, number 813. Narrated by Ikrimah. The people of Medina asked Ibn Abbas about a woman who got her menses after performing Tawaf al-Afada. He said, she could depart from Mecca. They said, we will not act on your verdict and ignore the verdict of Zayd. Ibn Abbas said, when you reach Medina, inquire about it. So, when they reached Medina they asked about that. One of those whom they asked was Sulam. She told them the narration of Safiya, 812. Volume 2, Book 26, number 814. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. A menstruating woman was allowed to leave Mecca if she had done Tawaf al-Afada. Tawus, a sub-narrator, said from his father, I heard Ibn Umar saying that she would not depart. Then later I heard him saying that the Prophet had allowed them, menstruating women, to depart.